Hi, this is James Shug with Westpac London's end of day report for Friday the 23rd of March. It was a pretty quiet day today really in terms of news events. A little bit of volatility in equity and commodity markets though, and I'll explain why. First of all, we had a positive open, but that was eroded later in the European session, that positive sentiment, particularly when in the US home sale figures for February were released, which showed a 1.6% fall, and the previous month was revised down quite sharply. So whereas there had been a bit of an uptrend in sales in the latter part of 2011, the figures released today suggest that uptrend in sales may have in fact stalled or even turned the other way. So we need to get more figures, but that was a bit of a disappointment for the market. However, later on in the session again, higher oil and commodity prices, higher oil prices in particular, related to news reports that sanctions on Iran would cut daily availability or supply of oil by a certain amount, enough to that put a lot of pressure on the oil price, and other commodities were higher too, and that saw commodity firms do okay towards the end of the European session. So a bit of a ride up, down and up again into the close. Other news that's quickly worth mentioning: we had consumer confidence in the UK down in February, but not fully reversing the prior month's rise, and Canadian inflation picked up a bit too. It hit 2.6% in February. The core rate hit 2.3, its highest in actually its highest since the end of 2008. A bit of one story on the US market. There's a system called the Better Alternative Trading System. Someone doing a trade of 100 Apple shares triggered something to go wrong, and Apple's share price fell very sharply and trading was suspended. Then trading of the BATS share itself on its own system had to be suspended because its share price collapsed just after their IPO, the initial public offering, from something like, I think it was $16 down to just pennies. I may have not got all the detail right there, but basically if you read up on it, it's a funny little story. But it really didn't mean that much in the context of the broader day's trading. So, where are the markets? At the end of trading, the FTSE in London up 0.16%. The French market up 0.11%. The Germans up 0.2%. And the Dow, it's about 520 in London at the moment. The Dow is up about 1/3% today at 13,092. Commodity markets, as I mentioned, they've done okay, particularly in the latter part of today's session. Copper prices are up 1.1%. We've got crude oil up 1.6% today at $107 a barrel, and gold's at 1.1% at $1,660 an ounce. The Aussie dollar, when those new home sales figures in the US were released, the Aussie fell to as low as 1.037 against the US dollar, but as I speak, it's back up around 1.045 with the commodity and equity market sentiment improving into the end of the day. Okay, that's it for me for this week. I'll be back for the first few days of next week, although I'll be away later next week. Okay, so speak to you soon.